You're like, hi, that's so cute. All right. Well, how should we start?
Hey,
What day is it?
Marquitos, what's going
What day
on?
is it today? Oh, I'm just here in the studio getting ready to record another episode. And guess what? You're the guest.
All
Isn't that
right. We've
cool?
been talking about doing this for a while.
We have been
What
talking
time?
about doing this for a while. All
What
right, let me
time
get
to
into
get
my
together?
let me get into my little podcast mode and do my intro. Uno, dos, y tres. Hey, everybody! Welcome back to the Marquitos Show. Marquitos here, coming to you from the entertainment capital of the world, Hollywood, California. And I'm excited to bring you the latest edition of my DJ Talk series. And so I've searched long and wide and hard for the next amazing DJ to grace his presence on the Marquito Show podcast. So, who else than my amigo from back in the day, Mr. DJ Paulo. So, with that, on the count of three, I want everyone to give DJ Paulo a big round of applause. Welcome to the show, DJ Paulo. Yay!
Do you do like and stuff like that?
Yeah, we have a big budget here at the Marquitos Show
So are you
podcast.
doing the editing yet? Adding all those flashes and
Oh, you'll be amazed when this comes out how
right?
much I have not done to enhance this episode.
Right. And
I mean,
this is my
hi. Oh my God, he loves you.
yeah. She's a sweetie.
Oh,
She's
it's a she.
yeah.
Okay, we get that. I like the
I can
non-binary
go
dogs
off.
myself.
Yeah.
But cool. Thank you for coming on to my podcast. I was excited to have you on for the latest edition of DJ Talk. I kind of feel like we're like back in like what year was it? Like 1990 something when I was at QV magazine and I did my little print magazine and I interviewed you. Remember that?
Was that when you had the cover, and it was like me and Brett Hendrickson and Nerd?
I don't think it was Brett because it was QV baby. We didn't have Brett on the cover. We had you.
It was
I
weird.
remember.
It was at the record store, and somebody took a picture. Like it was at a record store in West Hollywood. Remember, there was a record store at the same.
Yes, remember those kids? Record stores. Yep.
Yeah, and it was a picture, and it was like me and yeah, Brett was there, and like a couple of the DJs.
No, you were. We had. I think we had lunch at some like cafe in West Hollywood, and we just chatted. And you were part of that era of DJs that I interviewed back in the day. It was you, Junior, Victor,
Yeah,
Abel.
yeah,
So it's good for us to come full circle after all these years. I mean, I spent some time in New York and kind of left LA for a while, but I'm back, and I'm bringing my podcast. And obviously, LA DJ Paulo
yeah,
makes perfect sense, right?
yeah, totally.
So, are you home today? Tell me where you're at.
I am. I'm like, this is my off weekend. I had like an incredible weekend at Purple Party last weekend. I did
Oh,
a party.
how
It
is
was,
that?
yeah, it was, huh?
How is that? How
Yeah,
is it?
it was amazing. There's some parties that are still like, it makes me believe that there's still hope. You
Yeah.
Well, after COVID, it was kind of like, the scene.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, the scene's not been the same as before COVID.
Oh
It's
my God.
like
Yeah.
it's like something, something before COVID was more happening, I think. So, but afterwards, I was curious to see where things would go, and yeah,
Yeah. Well, you're definitely right. The scene has changed
yeah,
s- immensely in the last few years. I think COVID is a big part of that. I think dating apps is a part of that. I
yeah,
think also just, new generations of gays are like into different things now. And, I still love going out to a big party. I love taking off my shirt, dancing with hot boys and dancing to the beats, and like a lot of your tracks always say, bring me those motherfucking beats. And that always takes me
yeah.
takes me to church, as they say. And Paulo, I got to say, after all these years, you are consistently on my playlist of like my favorite DJs. You always bring it. So thank you for giving the children the goods all these years.
Yeah, Thank you. I'm still very passionate. It's crazy. I've gotten more feedback from this last weekend in Dallas than I have in a long time. The way people are still connected to the music, where it's like a spiritual experience for them. That's like for me where it's all about.
Ooh,
Uh,
spiritual.
oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Taking us to church, baby. Well, Being that, you're kind of a very established name in this industry. Take us back to like baby Paulo days. Like, I know you're Portuguese, we kind of touched upon that back in my QV days, and you talked about how that influenced your music growing up. But, do you remember your first DJ gig?
Yeah, I was living in Paris, France. I had gone there for college, and I had already been a bit kind of a bedroom DJ in my teenage years. And when I moved to Paris, there was a DJ that was working a club called, his name was Tony Edwards, and he said, "You want to come spin on Thursdays?" And it was vinyl, the old days of spinning vinyl. So I was spinning in Paris, and then things progressed from there. I was doing more bigger events, and then moved to London. And then I stopped DJing when I was in London. And then when I moved to LA 1991, Manny Lehman was big, and
Mm-hmm.
Eddie X and Pump and all those things. And I remember Eddie X moved to Miami, and I was like, okay, I got to pick up my records again, because Eddie was like, did you ever go to those parties, Eddie X?
I wasn't allowed in. I didn't get my my 21 and over card yet.
Oh, really? Like the El
Yeah.
Rey was amazing. It was
I remember the El Rey party. I remember the pump parties. Yeah.
yeah, the Pump parties were
But
great.
like I had a doctor's appointment the other day. Now that I'm back in LA, so I'm like meeting my new doctors and stuff. And this doctor that I was seeing literally was like, "I remember you." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, didn't you like used to go to like pro back in the day?" And I was like, "No, I could never get into pro. I wasn't old enough, but I remember pro, but I wanted to always go inside. But it's one of those like legendary LA clubs from like the '90s that I never got
Yeah,
to
there was
experience."
Grove, and then there was the other side, which was Spin, and that's where I was a resident.
Of course.
Spin kind of blew up, and in 1999, it was like the New Year's Eve party of like the century, and it was like me and David Knapp at a Spin, which is Avalon, right?
That's right. Yeah, on Vine Street. Yeah.
That was like 1999.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. So before that, I was at Rage, which was Rage on Fridays was the place to be. I mean, they even had Peter Rauhofer doing the 1 year anniversary party. It was on Fridays. There would be a line around the block, and so I did that, and then Spin, which was also Rowan Bissett, and then Red Eye. Remember Red Eye and
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Road, and just all those after hours. I was like a big after hours.
So, God, that brings back so many memories. I remember that Rage party, and actually it was like the late '90s. I remember I walked in and like I heard, and again going back to the music, right? I heard this amazing remix of Madonna's "Ray of Light." I think it was the Richie Santana remix. I was floored. I was like, "How? Where do I get this? Where do I get this mix? How do I get this music?" And that's one of the reasons why I loved going out, for all these years. Is just like listening to tracks that I couldn't find anywhere. And obviously, you guys, you DJs, producers, put these tracks together and just give us a whole new experience of a certain track. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's right. We did our,
Well, this
our
brings me back to a lot of questions. You're known as the tribal bitch, right? Uh,
Well, that was actually a brand name that I had for the tribal base. Was not actually me. It was actually my dog.
okay.
Logo, the eye was actually my dachshund, my dog on its back legs. It was like a whole thing, But definitely, it was like a brand name. But it was a difficult brand name to have because you got flagged so much every time you put the name. So you had to find ways to go around it with asterisks.
Not anymore. You should see bitch everywhere now.
Oh yeah, you think it'd be that easy, but no, it's tough.
you're like
You can't advertise, so it was like
you're like bitch. I'm Paulo.
yeah,
And speaking of tribal, I mean, I always associate you with tribal music, pots and pans, vocals. I mean, is that still fair? Is that still sort of your mantra, or like, how would you say like the current Paulo experience, from an evolutionary standpoint?
it depends on the party. Like if I'm doing a circuit, which to me is just another name for a gay festival. There's a difference between circuit and club music. If it's a club event, I'll do more club sound. I always tailor my sound to the event. If it's a main stage, a main event, I'll play lots of big vocals. If it's an after hours, I'll pull back on the vocals, play more tech. If it's like I'm doing one magical weekend where I'm actually doing a pool party, If it's a daytime party, I'm doing my Paulo light. I literally have to like give it a new name so that people understand that it's a lighter, funkier sound. You know, the backbone of my music has always been house music, and tribal is just one genre of house music, and circuit is like a specific style as well. You know, I give a little bit of everything at my parties, but specifically for that party. For the daytime party, more daytime sound. If it's an after hours, definitely more heavier, sexier. You know,
Yeah.
creative vibe.
I've always loved your after hours. Remember those afters was at the factory? And I remember there was one night. This is again, we're going back. I mean, I've been going out for a long time, but I remember it was that time when the Seavox track came out. Exact, yes. And I was like, "What is this? You brought that one first to LA. I didn't hear it before. I was like gagging with that. But you have this like way to like pick up just these tracks that the children love, you know. And yeah, I think a lot of your parties have that sexy vibe, especially the after hours. I mean, you
Yeah,
just love it,
I go
and
on a ride. You know, I don't do that many after hours anymore because I mean it's just like let the new kids do it. But I do a couple of really amazing ones every year. Do you go to San Francisco for Folsom?
I haven't gone in a few years, but I'm gonna go this year. What am I missing?
Like for example, Abel does Aftershock, which is
Hmm.
Saturday night, and then I do the Nocturnal Extreme Folsom, and it's like a ride. It's like at Alcyon, which is one of the best clubs in San Francisco, actually in the West Coast. Amazing sound system, and like Atlanta Pride, I always do after hours. So you know, it depends on what I do.
Yeah. And
I
how do you
do.
how do you prepare for these parties? Because obviously, I mean, look, I'll be honest. When I started doing DJ talk, I was like, everyone's a DJ now. Like it's so easy. Everyone just kind of like does, and again, I've heard rumors. You know how the gays are, that certain DJs have purchased their tracks pre-recorded from like someone in Barcelona, and then they just pay them and they say this is my DJ set. Like, what do you do to like
Why I
prepare?
put a
Like,
lot of name drops in my sets because that's I pride myself as sort of like being somebody that kind of plays new stuff. So when you come hear me live, you're always going to hear stuff that you don't hear anywhere else. They're either my remixes or my mashups or they're brand new tracks that haven't been released. And that's how it used to be for me when I used to go hear Peter and Victor or, Junior. It was like you would hear songs that you knew, but you never heard that mix. And that's kind of like what I love to do. It's just to like present, I know you're like really into Madonna. So of course when she released her single, I was like, boom, I gotta have a remix for that. And I'm like 75% done with it, but I was like, I'm gonna play this no matter what. So I worked my ass off to get that mix for the
well,
event.
I can't wait to hear it. I know you were teasing me today at the gym about it, so I'll hear
Yeah,
it soon.
it's like
Speaking of the divine Miss M, I mean, you kind of cut to my questions that I have for you, but I know that you had the official "Living for Love" remix. I guess what was that, like 10 years ago for Rebel Heart era?
yeah.
Like, how did that come about? How did she find you, and how did you feel when like you heard that she selected your remix for her record?
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. Orlando, God bless his soul, he used to work for Warner. I had done official remixes for him, either both as a solo remixer and collaborative with Jakinski. So we had done Cher, and I had done Pet Shop Boys official mixes, and Christina Aguilera. So we were kind of doing a few, and so when Madonna was doing her Living for Love, he called me and he was like, "We would like for you to do a remix." And so we presented remixes, and she's actually the one that chooses the mixes.
Yeah, she chooses
Very,
it.
yeah, she's very hands on, and it's like winning an Oscar.
Hmm. I mean, that's the apex, And I was actually, as I was preparing to talk to you, I kind of was just going down that memory lane, and I was like, you mentioned Orlando. I remember Orlando Puerta from like back in the day when he was like, doing parties like Citrusonic, and it's good to see like, oh wow, it's so cool.
We had it professionally,
Did
like
she sign it?
I have her signature. I have
Okay.
this, but not on this one. I have it on her True Blue album, and then
Ooh.
I have another Madonna like.
And wasn't it like a Larry Flick interview that like mentioned
I
he
have
meant he like
her with a lipstick in.
ooh, that's really cool.
Uh,
Well, I have a few signatures, but none with her lips. No, but I was gonna say, like, I remember that interview. I think it was, and I think you have it on one of your podcasts or playlists that
oh,
like has
totally.
the Larry Flick interview, and he's like asking her about you, and
Oh
she like, oh
God, I
yeah.
know. I was
I
like,
mean,
oh, they
what
were.
an endorsement. I mean, hello.
I was like, I know, I could not believe it. It was like her name, my name coming out of her lips.
And she didn't say you sucked. So,
I know, I couldn't believe it.
ah,
That was such a surreal moment because
yeah.
you don't understand. She was like the background of so much of my childhood, like, her and Prince and, George Michael and, I mean, Michael Jackson. I mean, these are like the icons of pop music. She is the queen of pop music, whatever you say. She is the queen, whether you approve of her, what she looks like or not. She is the queen of pop. Period. To have her acknowledge me was like freaking everything. Yeah.
No, 100%, and that's so cool. And that's when I think when I heard that, and then I heard the track. I mean, yours and Ophir's were my favorite for that particular era.
Mm,
It was so cool, and
over.
there's so much talent out there in
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
DJ world, and to be selected like that, like you said, it's like winning an Oscar. So, congratulations, my
Oh,
friend.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So
Peter did some.
let's
I was
move
going
away
to say
from
Peter
what.
Rauhofer did some great remixes of her as well.
Oh, well, that leads me to another question because I know that you're also a big Peter Rauhofer
Yeah.
fan. I am too. He's definitely like top three DJs of all time in my mind.
Yeah.
Um, and I know you've done a lot of tributes to Peter as well.
Hmm.
And I feel like when I hear those mixes, that I feel like you're kind of like enveloped by Peter. Like it's kind of hard to distinguish between the two because of the way you guys mix and stuff. What do you think it was about Peter that kind of like just gagged you?
Well, I started DJing when I started DJing in New York City. I was able to get a couple of gigs at the Roxy before it closed, and
Mm-hmm.
when the Roxy closed with John Blair is the one who brought me on board. Oh, God, so long ago. When the Roxy closed, Peter asked me to go on board and do his work events in New York City. It was at Octagon, and my night was called Work at Tribal. So I was in New York about once every 6 weeks, and it was such a great way for me to develop as an artist. And so for that, I'm very thankful. And it was funny because even if Peter wasn't there, like Mitch Amtrak would be doing the lights, and it was so funny because I would be playing a mix like a Club 69 remix or something I would do, and Peter would literally on the phone with Mitch Amtrak, and Mitch would be like, it'd be like, what mix is that? And it was just, you know, Peter was just, he supported artists and he supported remixers.
Yeah.
And if you had something that he saw, like that he brought Ophernism, Eddie Martinez, Marco da Silva, all these DJs that were like harder and not cheesy, he would be like, I want you to play for me, you know? Yeah, he was amazing.
Yeah, and he also didn't play like the diva game. Like he was just Peter. Like he was just, I mean, when I would go to like the
Yeah,
Roxy or
he was,
something, and I was, by the DJ booth, I'd go up and say, hey, and he would say hi. We'd take pictures. It was so cool. And it was. I remember I was working in New York when he passed away, and I was, kind of like sad that, and it was at the end of an era, and but it's good to hear that his music lives on, and so many DJs are really inspired by his music. I remember hearing like I think you used to play like was it Magic Cucumbers, that little sample, so cute.
yeah, his music still can be played right now, and it sounds amazing.
Hmm.
The only things right now is it seems like the dance floor, the attention span is shorter. So
Yeah.
sometimes some of these long mixes that are like 7, 8, 9 minutes have to be shortened down to like
Really?
half 5 minutes. Absolutely.
Oh man, I think one of my favorite remixes of his was that mashup of what is it, 69? Oh my god,
And
and
Mariah Carey.
no, it's
We can get
X by Junior. His
right.
mix,
Good
yeah,
one.
yeah, and there's also a mashup between that remix and like I can't get enough. Is that yours?
Yes. Wow.
I want it. I
Yeah.
want it.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night. No, I love that. I love that. I
Yeah,
think.
that was yeah, and that mix it was a mashup that I did, and um, the best was when I watched Flava and Power perform it at White Party in Miami years ago. Oh my God, yeah, it was crazy. Those were
Oh,
the
we miss. Those were the
those,
days, babe.
yeah,
Those were the days. I
those were
mean,
the days. And
I
now see
mean,
that mix is like 9.5 minutes long.
yeah. And it's like it's a journey. Like
Oh, I know it totally is a journey.
it is drama to the
Yeah,
T. And
and
whenever that comes on,
oh my
there's
God,
a
totally.
I mean, just the vocals, the
Yeah,
beats. It's magic.
yeah.
So, yeah. And actually, I got to say too, I got to give you props. You did a mix years and years and years ago, but it's still fucking amazing. The O for Haza
Oh yeah,
remix.
totally.
I never ever
Yeah,
tire of that.
yeah, I remember that was when I really started like getting into the remixes, and I gave that to Abel, and he played it at the factory, and I was listening to it for the first time in big speakers, and I had like tears down my eyes because as you know, she passed away from AIDS
Yeah.
many years ago, so to hear her vocal like going through the speakers and like the drums through my body, it was once again a spiritual experience, and I have the same thing right now with Beth Sachs.
Ah,
I just posted it on Instagram. I did a rework remix of her "What's Going On," and just to
mhm.
have her vocals going through the club, it's magical. It's yeah, it's great.
Yeah. We love Beth. I remember
Yeah,
back. I'd been in New York like maybe 3 or 4 years, and like Viva was a thing at Stage
yeah.
48. That party, man, was like
Oh my God, totally.
the like closest thing to like Roxy or Sound Factory back in the day.
Yeah,
Like you had your Hell's Kitchen queens, your drags, your straights. It was so cool. Like
yeah.
the who's who of gay New York and then some were I was always there, and the music was always on
Around
point.
the block, it was
100%, yeah. And then I remember I would see Beth, like she'd be walking around the dance floor getting to do her show. Obviously she worked a lot with Aaron, and it was just a time again where you're just like in club music history, like
did
you're
you
able just
talk
to
to
say,
her? Did you?
yeah, she was just
Oh,
always really nice, and I know she had her health problems and stuff. And I remember when she passed, I kind of checked in with Aaron and stuff, and he was, really, really saddened by that whole thing. But they did a lot of good music together. Yeah, but like I said, being in New York at that time was just really cool, and it was sad to see that club close. And there was a time too where like it was hard to just go dancing in Manhattan. Everything was moving to like Brooklyn, and I don't know what it was like here in LA too, but
you know
you
why we
know,
lost venues?
huh?
You know why we lost venues?
Because they're all becoming condos.
Yeah, that and GHB. I mean,
Ah,
GHB was a big factor in Stage 48 closing for us. I mean, whether people admit it or not, I've always been very vocal to anti-HHP, GHB. But with Stage 48, I specifically remember seeing the letters from Stage 48 saying that your clientele is high risk to our club.
really?
They were renting the venues out, and
Right.
ambulances get called, they start, so that was another bad period with New York. It was just all these things between GHB and COVID and everything. It was just one top layered one another.
Yeah.
It's a recouping now. And I don't know if you watched like what Danny Tenaglia did with Twilo to bring it
Yeah, I
back.
saw that. I missed it, but yeah,
It was just
so
like, oh
cool.
yeah, no phones and everything, and just to watch people like really be in the moment with the music, I was like, oh my God, I hope the gays do that soon again because I miss those days.
It, yeah, like you said, COVID changed things. The apps changed things, and I think people's attention spans are shorter too, like you said. And
Yeah,
it's,
totally.
I just miss the days of like walking into a huge space and you're just transported into this whole other world, right? Like who you
Yeah,
are outside those gates
yeah.
doesn't matter. Like we're all there, you
Still have
know.
those moments. Certain parties will do that. Like notably, I did the main event at Market Days last year.
Mhm.
God, the production was so phenomenal.
With
And like,
Circuit Mom.
have you Market Days, Circuit Mom in
Yep, yep, yep,
Chicago?
yep.
Wow, it was just like the production value, and the venue was so big. It was like a church when you walked in. So I'm sure
Was
it's gonna.
it? It wasn't the House of Blues. Where was it?
No, no, no. It's at a big location that they
Okay.
use every year. I mean, it's humongous. It's like on two, three levels. It reminds me of like, do you remember Gay Days in Orlando at
Oh my
the
God, years ago.
what's the one?
Arabian Nights.
Yes, it was like Arabian. It's like Arabian
Oh
Nights.
my
It's like
God.
you walk
That was
in.
a crazy party.
Yeah,
Oh my
totally.
God.
Like,
I think
yeah,
that and like, what was it, Peter's After Hours for Winter Party back in the day? Remember at Cameo?
yeah. Tribal bit. We did no Tribal Madness.
Yeah, that was so cool. That was so much
That was one of
fun.
the best parties. Like,
God, yeah. And again, like what was the ingredient? It was just music, energy, sexiness, and just there to have a good time. And then like, that back then there was like production, there were shows and there were boys dancing, like including yours truly at some point.
all right. Yeah.
But
Totally.
yeah, so I miss those days, but
Mhm.
I like to go out sometimes and now and experience it. I went to that party here in LA. What was it? Oh, tough. Yeah. And and again, like I think the new thing now, and correct me if I'm wrong, because this is your space, not mine. But a lot of the gay dance parties now have just become so. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it's not just about the music. It's very sexual now.
Yeah, of course. It's become like a sex party with musical background.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think that as music started to decline, the quality of music started to decline, promoters needed to find a way to sort of bring people in. So more, so they started adding the back rooms and stuff like that. You know, I like I don't mind sexiness. I think it's always been a part of going clubbing and being sexy, but overtly sexual stuff, I've always liked it when it was like separate from the dance floor. The dance floor to me is a sacred place. It should be like where you're connecting with people and you should be bonding musically with people. If you want to mess around or be naughty or something at a club, they should have a separate part for that, because I do know that there are still people that do like to go out and not be so sexual, you know.
Hmm.
So I like for example, I noticed there's a party here in LA. I've called Summer Tramp
Oh
and
yeah, yeah. I've heard of it.
Varsity Disco, and
Hmm.
some of these new parties are like not all about sex. They're more about and they have retro music. It's more about connecting musically with So everything has its time and place. I just think yeah, that's kind of like my opinion on that.
Okay. And as the scene continues to evolve, and you know, younger people move in. I think also too, like what I've noticed is that like, and I literally was just in Chicago yesterday, and I was talking to a couple of good friends of mine who are good friends with Circuit Mom and everything, and they were just telling me about some of the challenges that she's been experiencing because of the way the scene has changed. And I got to tell you, these guys were so into EDC, and they're like hardcore party boys for the last 20
Right.
plus years, and they're like Marquitos, you have to check it out. It's like it's an unbelievable experience. It's like it's music. It's like all these stages and everything. How do you feel about that scene? Like, have you gone to any of those parties? And what do you think? Do you think DJ Paulo would fit in?
Um, yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, I think people are always looking for. I think people are always looking for something new musically. I think. I think the circuit gay festival scene has musically has. I don't know. With Ofer not coming in that to the U.S. anymore, and Peter being on, and there's some great new producers, but I do believe sometimes that there were so many DJs and that the music started going downhill a little bit. So people started going to other things like festivals. There's like real house music, like Carl Cox, and so they want to experience that. I was thinking about that. I've been talking about it with other DJs. I mean, the gay scene used to be where you would hear the most cutting edge, newest music. And now it's the other way around, it feels like. It's more like, people are going to the straight scene to hear brand new, music, you
Yeah, we
know.
got to change. We got to change that. That
Yeah,
can't be that
yeah,
can't be the
and
case.
we do. And I've noticed that, like, for example, in the leather community,
Uh huh.
music is definitely like, less commercial, more tech, more, experimental, you can see what's happening. It's like, for example, like in New York City, it seems like at the Eagle, it seems like where they get most of the best music,
I
you
gotta
know,
say, that's exactly where I was going to go next because
right?
The Eagle in New York City, bar none, has the best dance floor in Manhattan.
Yeah,
The sound system's on
it's New
point.
York.
Yeah, it's just,
It's
and it
New
has that
York
vibe.
sound.
No matter what day you go, you know they're gonna have awesome music at the Eagle. You know, and it's
Totally.
gotten to the point now where like,
And like some of the resident DJs, totally.
yeah, James Anthony, like, it's one place where you can still go and hear like you're there for the music. I mean, yeah, you're there for the environment and the scene too, but you just know that the music is going to be
Yeah, but New
like
York
on
is
point.
always like people have been, yeah, people like New York for me was like always a top of the pyramid. You know,
Hmm.
it's like where you would hear, and that's where musically I would also go. Whenever I played in New York City, I would always play specifically for New York City.
Hmm.
You know, like with New York sound, and that's where I evolved as an artist. And I think one of my biggest pet peeves are people that come and play in New York City and they don't give a New York sound at all. It's just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, what is the New York sound according to Paulo?
Well, like it's edgier, you know.
Hmm.
It's not so reductive and predictable and
Reductive.
corny. I mean, everything has its time and place. But if you're going to a big club, in New York City, I don't know. I want to hear something new and something that really motivates me and inspires me.
Yeah, no,
I don't want
and
to
that
hear something that I can hear in any SoundCloud page. You
yeah,
know,
no, it was great, and like I said, like there was nothing like Aviva back in the day. I mean, the Eagle is probably the place to go
I
to
think Meat's still
nowadays.
doing. I
You
think
know.
Meat is doing some parties in Brooklyn.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, and even like the Brooklyn scene now. I mean, it's so different. It's so. I mean, Brooklyn always still has the edge. You know,
mhm.
they're always kind of doing the mashups and the non-binary,
Miami
non-conforming.
also. Oof.
Yeah, Miami's changed a lot too.
What's
You know,
happening
it's
in Miami?
what
What's happening in Miami?
nothing. Is there? You tell me.
So like, oh my God, I remember.
Miami like
Remember
20
White
years
Park?
ago
Used to
was
come around playing at Liquid.
yeah, it was so much fun. Like
Someday.
Liquid, Crowbar, Cameo.
Oh yeah.
Crowbar was crazy. I used to call Crowbar the vampire layer because I remember like big party weekends when it was like after hours. I would always say like remember like scene from like Interview with the Vampire where they're like exposed to the sun and they become like stone. I was always like, if they opened up that roof at 6 in the morning, all those queens would turn into stone.
Yeah, that's how it is when I do the Folsom weekend party in
I
Nocturne.
can't wait. Well, I'm going to go this year, Paulo. So
No, it's
yeah.
it's it's like I don't do that many after hours, but it truly is like a spiritual experience to dance all night.
Okay.
And it's.
Hopefully my feet can withstand that now because that's a big change from like 20
You
years
gotta
ago.
plan it. I always take a nap before.
Oh, you do? I mean, I
Oh
look
yeah, you
once.
take a nap.
I'll be honest. Like back in the day, I could do after hours and be fine the next day. Not anymore. I got to pick and choose my battles.
Well, that's why
I
I
mean,
take a nap before.
if I go out, I like to be home before the sun comes up, like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. tops. Like I can't go
There you
like till noon. And I have friends that go till noon the next day and then do after hours. And I'm like, how the hell do you guys do that? So
If I do an after hours, I'm gonna make sure that it's worth it just for you to stay up all night. Where it's like, that was so worth it. Where I'm telling you, when you're in the zone musically, both as a DJ or as somebody on the dance floor, when the music is just right, you don't feel any pain. You know,
except the
until
next day.
it stops, and then like, oh my feet. But it's literally like it's cleansing. It's like a human experience. We've
It's a
taken,
release.
huh?
Yeah, it's a release.
Totally. In the old days, it used to be around the fire and just drums all night. Now it's kind of like we got speakers and the light experience, and once in a while, it's worth it.
All right, let me ask you this then. So looking back at all the events you've done, like what are like your top two favorite like DJ Paulo like events you could say, damn, I'm so glad I did that because it was such a blank ass experience.
Mm. Well, you know, when I did World Pride in New York City at the what was that called? The what was that called?
The Brooklyn Mirage.
No, that wasn't the World Pride was held. The World Pride was held at
Oh,
the
in Central Park.
no, it was at the big glass.
Oh, the Jacob Javits.
Yes. Oh my God. That party. I mean, there's a good thing about it because there was just so many people. You can make so many people feel good through music. That party, there was between 11 and 14,000 people.
Yeah, it was huge.
The largest crowd I have had ever spun for outside of like the Black Party. That was like transcendent. That was like for me, and we had COVID right after that. That was like June, and then like a few months later, literally, and then that was actually where people were doing vaccines. So I remember everything closed down. So that was one of the most amazing parties. I played all this new stuff, and just it was amazing. Rio New Year's Eve about 10 years ago, where I spun at the Week at 3 in the morning. That was also like, I mean, if you've been to Rio, right? Brazil, yeah. If you know how passionate people are about the music there, just the moment and Brazilians, I'd been spinning in Rio and Brazil for several years. You get the biggest fans there. That's still right, and so when you went on, people knew who you were, and they were there every song and every step of the way from 3 till 9. I remember that was like phenomenal. New Year's Eve in Rio at the Week. Yeah, that was unbelievable.
Love it, love it. Well, speaking of fans, like, do you have like groupies still?
Yeah. I mean, I
Of course you do.
not groupies, but it's like,
People that follow you around.
yeah. I mean, there's, yeah, I do. It's weird. It's like whenever I still go to New York, I think one of the funniest things when I did Space, and there's this guy that I don't know his name right now, but he had like a hat made of pans, and he had like written pots and pans,
Uh,
and it was just like I don't know. Yeah, it's you know they're not groupies, but just like the same way I've always liked, certain people affected me, and I love to see what they're doing musically. They still follow me.
yeah, I still remember our good friend Nurse Cracker and
Yeah,
your tracks. Where is Nurse Cracker?
yeah, totally.
I want you to change that for one time just for me and say, where is Marquitos?
Alan T was just here. He should have let me know. He was just
Oh, really? Okay, well, you have some time, before Folsom. Yeah, we love Alan T as well. That's why I want to ask you too. Like, you have Alan T on doing your intros, of course, Lula.
yeah.
Like what is it that you like about those individuals? You say, hey, you are going to be on my track.
Well, I mean, they're Salida, Lula, Alan T, Suzanne Palmer. I mean, they're all like the big,
Yeah,
songs, the artists that I grew up with, like listening in the club. So, yeah, it was great to always be able to have that opportunity. And I approach each one of them. I mean, Alan T I've known for years and years since I've been DJing.
she's so
Lula,
crazy as ever.
right? He's amazing. He's still living life to the fullest.
He is. I mean, you can
You
never
want,
like
you
if you're in
want
a
me?
bad mood and you see Alan T like hosting a party, like just go for that. And yeah, like that queen brings it. She's hilarious.
He recorded here in the closet. I have like a little booth, and
Oh,
he recorded here, and I literally he it was so amazing. It was when we did a track called Meat, which was
yep,
from Meat, and he
yep.
actually performed it at Stage 48 one time. I don't know if you were there. It was like unbelievable. But I remember we recorded here, and I literally have hours of him just rapping. And I mean, he what do you
Yeah.
call it? Do on the fly.
Ad lib.
Yes, he would like ad lib, but like all this stuff, but I still have literally like encyclopedias full of stuff that we use for future tracks.
Yeah, put it in those tracks, baby. And
Totally.
and when you get an idea for a track, like I'm assuming as an artist, it just kind of like comes to you, and you're just like, and how long would you say like it takes you to do a track where you're like, it's like you were talking about working on the new Madonna track. Like, how long is that taking you to complete?
Yeah,
Where you're
if
like,
it's a
okay,
remix,
it's done.
yeah, if it's a remix, you want to take a little bit of time to do it. I always try to do a full remix within a few days, because otherwise you just sort of like lose the enthusiasm for it. If it's a mashup, you can do something quick on the plane or before. But if it's a real remix, you wanna play it at the club. You want to see a kick sound and the bass. You don't want to be rushing. It's like
Okay.
a pet peeve of mine when people do remixes so fast. They don't sound like they've been thought out. They were just
Well,
like
yeah. I
that
mean,
melody
literally,
on top, and that's not a remix.
yeah. I mean, I've seen like tracks drop, whether it's like, the new Ariana Grande or something, and like literally the same day, there's like a plethora of like remixes on like SoundCloud. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how are you guys turning this out so quickly?
It just sounds like the a cappella laid on top of a track with the same drums and the same synths that they use in the previous production. That's not the way a remix should work. I mean, you got to work melodies, and like with the new Madonna, I mean, I got strings, and you got to work stuff around the vocal and build a track. You don't just drop the track on top of something else unless it's a quick mashup. If you're doing a real
Yeah.
remix, you gotta take your time and do it properly.
No, I love that. I remember like hearing, like, for example, when Junior would drop a new remix back in the day, the
Mhm.
music would stop, and then it was just this drama, and then his track
Oh
would
yeah,
go. It was
I did
like,
that in Dallas with the new Madonna.
oh yeah, how was that? How did the crowd react?
Intro is these like stuff, and oh yeah, it's so much fun to do that, like to experience the premiere of a track with people and have music unanimously move people together is like a great feeling.
Yeah. Well, so what's next for DJ Paulo? Like, what do you have in the works? Like, are you working on new
Well,
music,
that
new
open
remixes?
space right there,
What?
it's like where my musical desk used to be with speakers, and I tore that down, and I'm actually buying a new computer, and like redoing my studio. Over
Yeah.
here, I have my DJ booth,
Cool.
which I was using during COVID when I was doing like my virtual, sessions.
DJ sets.
Yeah, so I record there, and I still have a lot of records. New remixes. I'm working on two remixes of the Madonna. I'm doing a big club mix, which is more techno, and then I'm doing a funk house remix, which is I will be premiering at One Magical Weekend,
Oh,
where I'm doing a pool party. So that's like Paulo Light, so people will definitely see the
okay.
difference.
All right. Are you
Yeah.
going to be, will we see you at Madrid Pride this year?
No, I haven't been traveling abroad as much, except for Puerto Vallarta, and um, you know, I still like to travel international, but it really needs to be something extraordinary for me to get on a plane and fly for 10 to 12 hours to go
Oh,
somewhere.
honey, you should do one of the Madrid Pride parties. Sandia, La Riviera. I mean, those
I
are
did, I
big.
did Madrid a few years
Yeah.
ago before COVID, and like Thailand's amazing too. I don't know if you're
Mhm.
watching like what's happening over there.
I've seen those videos, and I'm kind of
Yeah,
tempted to go check
big,
out those
big
parties.
productions, big
Yeah,
productions, right?
love it.
Party Bangkok. So I wouldn't mind going there again. Japan is amazing. I've spun Japan a few times. Brazil. I was in São Paulo at the new club that they have in São Paulo. It's called
Hmm.
what's that called? One or
I haven't been to Sao Paulo yet,
oh, okay.
just Rio.
Humongous. I mean, humongous. But the music is changing there as well. So you
Yeah.
know.
Well, so then that leads me to like, cut to the future. Like, do you ever see yourself like doing something else? I mean, or do you always want to be, you know, behind the turntables, regardless of what's going on, in the world?
I'm going to do this as long as I still have a passion for it. I
Uh,
mean, I'm not trying
yeah.
to get anywhere now, so I've definitely cut back on my gigs. I used to work every weekend, and that's not for me right now. I literally work maybe twice a month, and I'm more selective at the gigs that I do.
Good.
You know, I I'll always have my foot in music. Kind of depends, like
Yeah, good answer. Yeah.
yeah, I'll always will have.
Yeah.
Fitness has always been, something I've been involved with as coaching. I like helping people out, and um, I wouldn't be opposed to doing something like a life coaching, because
Okay.
I've been a personal trainer. Literally, I've always had fitness and music, and so I was a personal trainer for many years. I worked in gyms. Always like it's always been music and fitness. So
Okay.
helping people out, upcoming DJs, co-producing with other people. The other DJs. I'd like to work getting a Grammy. I'm open to that
Dream
now.
big, baby. Dream big.
Well, I mean, look, Tracy Young
Yeah.
and got one, and I think that they're just more open to that.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I'm definitely just focused on production, and um, I wouldn't mind playing more in the straight scene. I like to see, I saw what Honey Dijon has been doing, and
Oh, we love Honey.
yeah,
Her parties are off the chain. They're so good.
yeah, totally. I mean, I was talking about this with George, uh, and it's like when you've done circuit parties and festivals, they sort of pigeonhole you into only being a certain sound. But I've always been pigeonholed into either pots and pans after hours, or I'm like circuit, and it's not. I can do different things. So
You're
building.
diversified. Multi pronged.
Totally. So sometimes when I do a lighter party, people are like, "Oh my God, I didn't know you could play like that." And it's like, oh. That's why I do the Paulo Light and the Funk Daddy, and that's kind of like another brand that I'm trying to build, and more funk house and house driven than big room
Love
tribal.
it. It's all about evolution, baby. All
Yeah,
about evolution.
yeah,
Okay. So you know how Diddy used to have that show called Making the Band, like back in the day?
yeah.
What if there was like a DJ like contest reality show, and obviously you were like the mentor or whatever. What would you
Be one of
be?
their judges.
What would it be like? What would be like one of the challenges you would have these aspiring DJs do? Curious.
Um. Well,
Like
I
play vinyl?
I first want to know if you were producing the tracks that you're playing, because I've always said that there's producers and DJs producers, and I just think if you're only playing other people's stuff, that's like a cook only reheating another cook's dishes. I really want to see what you're bringing to the table as an artist, as a DJ, as a producer. Not just being able to play, or I mean, our style is definitely more like house driven, where tracks glide into each other, as opposed to like technical, rap, skit scratching and stuff. So I'd want to see what you're bringing to the table musically.
Okay.
I'm always like looking for the next who's doing well, and who's bringing it. Like, I mean, who do you think is like bringing it right now? Some of the DJs.
Oh, well, I mentioned Honey. I think she's great. You know, let's see who else I really like out there. I mean, I think Oprah's still turning it out when she's out
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Um,
new shows.
uh,
Yeah, I would highly.
Isaac Escalante. Our buddy Danny Toro still's bringing it. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, I always watch Ophanism's concerts when he has them in television, because he always plays new things that nobody else has. Like at his last concert, he had, oh my God, I forgot what it was. They're always remake of old songs. It was not Knock on Wood, it was something else, but it was just, oh my God, it was so good.
Yeah,
So,
his
um,
performance, his sets are drama. Like they're just, it's a production. I mean, it's so
yeah,
entertaining to
and all
watch.
people, and that's what I
And
had here
and that
more.
and that queen just she has that ear, and his he like you he brings the motherfucking beats.
I I went to his house one time in Tel Aviv. It was such a surreal experience, because he's he's a diva, but he's like Mariah Carey. He's like a kind diva.
You think she's a kind diva? I don't know about that.
Oh my God, you hear these stories of like him throwing DJ mixers and all this stuff, but it's just kind of like, I remember going to his house because I spun in Tel Aviv, and I remember like the promoter saying, Oprah wants you to go to his house and have coffee or a drink with him, and I was like, okay, and I remember him opening the door. And he was in high heels, and he had a fan.
Of course.
Come in. And it was the first time I'd ever talked to him outside of a gig, because usually I'd worked with him at Peter, like at the World Pride, New York Pride. but in private, he's so like down to earth and nice and just chill. And I remember I was at his house for like 5 hours, and we were just talking business. And yeah, you remind me of Mariah Carey, like a diva. And I was like,
Meeting of the minds. I
oh,
remember I remember the first time I was introduced, or not as musically, to Ofer was his work with Dana International back in the day.
yeah,
You know, when she won Eurovision, like I was like, oh, who's with Israel has like, you know, a cool DJ guy, cool.
yeah,
Cool. Okay, well, this has been a great conversation, Paulo.
yeah.
We're kind of getting to the end of our time together today, but I kind of like to do a little bit of a fire round with you, just to kind
I
of
did
like,
the fire round.
yeah, I always have fire rounds, you know,
Is it
just
like the Stephen Colbert questionnaire, like where's my favorite sandwich?
I'm gonna just, you know, give you two names or two whatever. You just tell me, you know, what you feel closest to. Okay, you ready?
Yeah,
All right. Sitges or Torremolinos?
Sitges or what?
Torremolinos.
I don't even know where that is.
It is like the gayest town in the south of Spain. Oh my god.
Oh, I've been to Sitges a couple of times.
Okay,
So,
so Sitges.
uh,
There you go.
yeah.
All right. Boxers or briefs?
It depends. Briefs if I'm going to the gym, but boxes if I'm going to sleep.
Okay, good answer. Tribal or EDM?
Tribal.
Nice. Good answer. Good answer. Madonna or Sabrina?
Madonna. Duh. Sorry, that's not even like if you said like Madonna or Kylie or I'd be like
That's
Sabrina.
tough, right? Okay, Madonna. Madonna. I won't even go there. I don't want to bring you with Madonna or Kylie because they're both
Oh my God.
amazing in their own
Yeah,
right. I'm not going
both
to
of
go
me.
there. NYC or LA?
I'm gonna say NYC.
Okay, why?
Because every time I play in New York City, I feel like more people go out to support me. Here
Okay,
in LA, it's a little like, literally gotta come on out. I
yeah,
throw
that's
full
very
party.
LA. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
LA
very
is
LA.
just like it's hard to get them out. God
Yeah.
forbid it rains on the night of your gig. In New York City, they'll go out if it's raining.
Yeah, because we're trapped inside and we're like, we want to
Yeah,
get out, even if it's winter. We're like, let's go, let's go. I need to get out of my apartment. You know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Let me see. DJ Lena or DJ Honey Dijon.
Oh, they're so different.
Very
You know,
different.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if
Or Nina Flowers.
well,
She turns it out too. All three of them turn it out.
I love Nina so much. Like,
Yeah.
there's
I
something about
mean,
her. She was. I just posted a video today. It's on the dance floor from Dallas on Sunday,
mhm.
and you can literally hear Nina screaming at the top of her lungs
It's very Lena.
because she is so passionate about music
Hmm.
and the club scene that she's there to support,
Yeah.
and just whether she's on stage or she's on the dance floor, the music just goes through her, and she just brings so much energy to the party.
And
So it's great.
she always brings you like soul and funk and disco and house. Like I remember like, you know, her gigs on Fire Island back in the day. Insane. I mean, I love even going to Lena's Lounge at Cafeteria on Fridays just to like hear her, just stay there and
Yeah,
just hang out, you know?
Lean on
Amazing.
Fire Island. I would love that as well when she would play out in the balcony.
And do her
And
shows, baby.
totally. Yeah,
And Honey just turns it out too. I mean, Honey, she packs those parties, you know, the boys gag, the girls gag. She's great. And then Nina, you gotta love her. She brings those hard beats, baby. Like whenever she's playing, you know what to expect. So
yeah, yeah.
I'll say all three, all of the above. Good
Totally.
answers, Paulo. Good answers,
Depends what
Paulo.
party it is.
What?
Depends what party it is.
No, you know, Nina always has some good parties that I've seen.
Yeah.
Um, well, Paulo, this has been a great conversation. Thank you
Is
for
that it? Are
gracing
we
me
done
with.
already?
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun, right? But before we cut off, I want to just give you some time to like, you know, let people know. I mean, you mentioned you're going to be at Folsom. Where else can they expect to find you? And also like online, like what are your handles? Like where can people like follow you and subscribe to your music, etc.
Yeah. on my Instagram, DJ Paulo Music. I put a lot of my new sets on SoundCloud. Also DJ Paulo Music and Mixcloud. I put my live sets because some people like to listen to what I do live, which is a whole other experience in putting podcasts together. I'm on YouTube. I have a new website coming up very soon, which will have everything included there. I'm also going to be releasing some merchandise. Believe it or not. Yeah, Funk Daddy and Tribal Bitch merchandise. People have been asking me, when are you going to do something? So that'll be out probably in the next few weeks. And then just remixes and, trying to do a Funk Daddy in LA this summer.
Okay, I'll come check that out. Make sure you tell me about that. Are you still doing fans?
Yes.
Do you? I know.
Started doing merchandise.
Yeah.
You know?
I know that's a trademark of yours. That and Cheeky Boom.
Yeah, totally. Oh my God! In Dallas this weekend, I swear more than any other city, they used your fans. They're doing the dropouts. I mean, videos. It's like clack clack
clack clack clack. I mean,
I
remember when the fans started, like the drag queens, because it was hot and they would just do it, and then it just kind of evolved from that, and they just don't leave. It's just there. And sometimes I got to tell you, sometimes these queens with their clacky fans in my ear, I'm like, get away. I'm that guy at the club. Like, I don't like to be in the middle of everything. I like to find a spot on the edge or by the DJ booth and just have space and just dance. If you start like getting in my space, stepping on my feet, like the crazy Latino comes out, and I just want to like, no, you don't want to see Marquitos do that. So that's where I'll be next time I see you.
Totally.
All right. So now, before we end the show, I like to have my guests give an inspiring message to my listeners. Just, a couple of words of like how words of advice, positive energy, whatever you want to call it, just kind of like, how do you want to like end this podcast? What kind of message do you want to put out there? Okay. On the count of 3. Okay.
Oh my God. I don't know.
Uno.
I mean,
think of something. Dos, tres.
I've always, I'm always very supportive of like people following me and like listening to me and giving me the opportunity to show them what I do, and whether it's people that have been following me for 30 years or every time I play a new party, it's like I'll get new fans or new people following me, and I love that. Music is spiritual, and I'm just a tool for people to connect to that spirituality. I've always seen it that way.
There you go. That's the positive message. See, you got it.
Yeah.
Who knew? You're also a poet.
Yeah, totally.
All right, Paulo. It's good having you on my podcast. I will see you out and about, whether it's at the gym or at a party, a bathhouse. I'm just kidding.
I'm too much of a germaphobe.
Me too.
Atlanta
What?
Pride. Folsom's great. Atlanta Pride is great.
No, I will definitely be at Folsom. I'll be bugging you and Jenna Marks. I'm like, hi, I'm here.
Your energy for Sunday night.
All right, baby. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Big hug. Don't go anywhere. Big hug. Okay.